Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to tonight's top stories, let's take a quick look outside that weather window today, our final day of February, and look at this gorgeous shot from our Sky-Fi tower camera up on Lake Wenatchee. And boy, what a beautiful shot with the blue skies, some cumulus clouds also floating around, especially in the northern and western part of Chelan County. A lot of blue sky today, but we were cooler than normal. And as we take a look at the National Weather Service's 10-day temperature outlook, look at that, below normal for almost the entire western United States, and that's going to go until about March 9th. That's expected. Also expected for the first 10 days, near normal precipitation. Most of the wetter areas will be to our east through the Central Plains. We will be near normal precip and below normal temperatures. We'll see if that bears out. Plus, we've got some weather changes coming on Thursday. We'll tell you about that coming up in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the news stories we're following for you tonight. The Wenatchee School District held its last of 3 public forums Monday night with a candidate to be its new superintendent. The return of grizzly bears to the North Cascades is always a sticky subject, but scientists say climate change could make the region even more hospitable to the great bear. And dropping off a heavy waste load has been difficult for the last week for residents in western Chelan County. That will continue. We'll tell you why. But first, our top story tonight. Authorities say the man charged with murdering Alyssa Longwell on Badger Mountain Road in January still refuses to cooperate with the court process. Dalton Scott Potter was scheduled to be arraigned this morning on 13 felony counts in Douglas County Superior Court. But when the time came, jail officers said Potter refused to be brought to the remote hearing room in the Chelan County Regional Justice Center. Potter has refused to answer questions in 4 consecutive court hearings and has demanded to act as his own attorney. He's accused of gunning down 37-year-old Longwell along the highway and then opening fire on 2 witnesses in a nearby vehicle. Potter has been ordered to undergo a competency assessment. A court commissioner today pushed his scheduled arraignment back 1 week. The Wenatchee School District held its last of 3 public forums Monday night with a candidate to be its new superintendent. Corey Kalahar, currently the district's Assistant Executive Director of Learning and Teaching, is the only in-house candidate to replace former Superintendent Paul Gordon. Kalahar took public questions through a moderator at the Wenatchee High School Commons. The Wenatchee School Board is tentatively scheduled to choose its new superintendent sometime tomorrow.
We do have some challenges that are upon us, right? We have some challenges that we've been talking about as a district. We know that some of that is related to the budget. We know that that is a huge concern moving forward. And I see that right now with those big decisions that are in front of us, that there's no time like the present to have someone who knows the district thoroughly, inside and out, and has been part of the community for his entire life and is not going anywhere anytime soon. So that's a little bit about my why, but I also want to share that hopefully what you know about the Kalahar name is that there is a theme of education in my background. I'll say it's in my blood. But my dad was a professor at Wenatchee College of Sociology for 30 years. I'm doing my thing for the last 24 in the Wenatchee School District. And my daughter is now at Washington Elementary doing her thing, her first year teaching first grade. So there's a theme of education in the family.
The return of grizzly bears to the North Cascades is always a sticky subject, but scientists say climate change could make the region even more hospitable to the great bear. A study in the journal Biological Conservation looked at climate projections for the next 60 years and found that potential high-quality grizzly habitat will expand the Cascades as the climate changes. For instance, warming trends could mean more abundant huckleberries. That's a favorite grizzly food source, and less snow and more rain would create greener forests, which the bears prefer. Only a handful of grizzlies are thought to exist in the North Cascades, and the federal government is examining possible plans for reintroducing more of the animals. Well, dropping off a heavy waste load has been difficult for the last week for residents in western Chelan County. The Dryden Transfer Station on Highway 2, which serves the Upper Valley, has been out of commission and unable to accept loads since last Wednesday. The Chelan County Public Works Department says the heavy machinery that tamps and moves waste on the tipping floor had a breakdown and is undergoing repairs. A delay in getting the needed parts extended the station's closure, but Public Works says the facility will have to keep its gates shut until at least this Wednesday. Other transfer sites are available in Wenatchee and Chelan. Well, when we come back, Senator Brad Hawkins wants to modernize Running Start. That's the dual credit program that gives Washington State high school juniors and seniors the opportunity to earn college credit. Sage Crisis Center, a Wenatchee nonprofit focused on fighting domestic violence, announced their new executive director. And 65 Washington State artists were awarded a total of $97,500 in unrestricted project-based grants back in December. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Working with August Edge Real Estate, both sellers and buyers feel confident knowing they are in the hands of award-winning professionals. August Edge offers a 2% listing commission, which includes above-standard service and technology.
We offer high-tech 3D imagery, drone photos, local North Central Washington TV ads, and impressive smart flyer installed at your listing. The August Edge website also hosts your home with an interactive featured listing page.
August Edge is professional, personable, and preferable.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Welcome back. In another news, Senator Brad Hawkins wants to modernize Running Start. That's the dual credit program that gives Washington State high school juniors and seniors the opportunity to earn college credit while also working towards their high school diploma. Hawkins' Senate Bill 5670 would allow 10th graders to participate in one college class per quarter as long as the class is online. Hawkins is citing the rise of fully online college courses as a big factor in updating the program.
The Running Start program has been around for over 30 years. It's very popular, but with the rise of all of the online classes, I think it's time to modernize it a bit. My bill would help students minimize their future debt, explore the Running Start program, and actually get closer to completing their degrees. I'm calling it a walking start to Running Start.
The bill now heads to the full Senate for consideration. Sage Crisis Center, a Wenatchee nonprofit focused on fighting domestic violence, announced their new executive director. Bethany Al-Hadari, who in 2021 won a key legal ruling to keep her daughter from being returned to her father in Saudi Arabia, has been hired to that position. Originally from Seattle, her family relocated to Wenatchee and she graduated from Kashmir High School. Al-Hadari has an extensive educational background with a PhD in International Human Rights from the University of Galway in Ireland and a Master of Laws from the University of Washington. Al-Hadari will replace former Executive Director Jessica Johnson, who left the organization at the end of last year. Well, 65 Washington State artists were awarded a total of $97,500 in unrestricted project-based grants back in December. The Artist Trust, a nonprofit with a mission to support and encourage artists around the state, awarded 8 Central Washington artists $1,500 each through their grants for Artist Progress. Those include Chelan County artists Michael Kammerer, Casey Koski, Lorna Rose, T.L. Timpey, and Claire Sienna Seaman. The recipients from Okanagan County are Selna Gracie, Dan Namakin, and Hannah Viano. The recipients come from a range of backgrounds, including performing, visual, and multidisciplinary arts. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's features story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come. Please stay with us.
Spring is more than just a time to clean. It's your time to renew, recharge, and spend time with the people you love. At Merry Maids, our cleaning services go beyond the basic services and provide you with a comprehensive clean that will re-energize your home and enhance your life. From everyday routine cleaning or deep cleanings, Merry Maids professional team members can provide you with an unrivaled experience. Call Merry Maids to schedule your cleaning today.
The agents of Kennedy Real Estate Group are committed to providing the ideal client experience. We believe in the power of relationships. Why? Because we don't just work here, we live here. From the nonprofits we serve, the parks where we play, and the local businesses we support, our team understands the value of living in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's begin your real estate story.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can just time warranty.
Great, I want that one. I would like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. A new $1 million state grant is designed to make some breakthroughs in the way community health is delivered in North Central Washington. The North Central Washington Tech Alliance and the Washington Community Health Network will use the money to build digital resources for people trying to access health care. In tonight's features story, NCWLIFE's Jefferson Robbins discussed the issue with Jenny Rojastian of the Tech Alliance and Jerry Perez Guerrero of the Health Network.
You know, not all households here in North Central have just, access to, steady access to computer or steady access to a smartphone. Nowadays, a smartphone is so smart, it's essentially a computer in your pocket. And so that was that one needed piece, just getting those devices in the hands of the most in-need individuals in the community. But then, North Central Washington is such a large region that not every community has the same access to efficient broadband. So they may be able to quickly check their emails, but when it comes time to set up a Zoom appointment where you have audio, video, and it needs much more broadband, that's where it gets really challenging.
Yeah, we've learned that up to 19% of North Central Washington doesn't have access to connectivity at home, and that it ranges across the community, but anywhere from 10 to 23% don't have a smart device with the technology capable of doing things like healthcare, remote healthcare visits, accessing information, education, etc.
And so the barriers might include things like income. You can't afford the smartphone, or you can't afford the broadband, or access to broadband is just not there. Or language. The resources you need aren't in your first spoken language. A whole variety of things that people could encounter when they're trying to get information and just running up against a wall.
Absolutely, and technology changes so rapidly that we take advantage of those of us who are more tech savvy we've kind of learned over the years as it's evolved, but there's a lot of people who have not utilized technology, and going to a smart device for the first time can be very overwhelming, so they don't have that digital literacy to know, even if they have the Wi-Fi and the device, how to use it.
What do the two of you foresee happening as this rolls out?
One of the things we're really excited about is the creation of a digital navigator program to train over 300 individuals across the region to help community members with digital knowledge. And so to really deploy across the region more individuals who are capable of helping community members so that this body of work doesn't live within one organization or siloed into one sector. And so we've got a lot of plans to work with community-based organizations across the 4 counties to bring digital navigation resources into their teams.
Let's take a look now at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope your Tuesday was a good one. We were warmer today than yesterday. We had a beautiful shot to open the newscast, and here's another one. Stamen Flats near Orondo. That's our Sky-Fi Tower shot for today. And sun shining behind the clouds, just making for a beautiful shot mid-afternoon this afternoon. Really wasn't a terrible day today. As I mentioned, it was warmer than yesterday, 37. Our unofficial high temperature. Unfortunately, that's still 10 degrees below where we should be for this time of year at 47. Got to go back to 1968 for our record high, and that was 62 degrees. We started off at 21 this morning, 9 degrees below our 30-degree mark. That's where we should be for this time of year. And our record, 9 degrees, set back in 1993. Okay, we picked up 9/100ths more of precipitation. That adds the 100th of an inch we had at news time yesterday, so about a 1/10 of an inch. That gets us to 1.85 inches of moisture for the year, and now 42 inches even for snow in this season, and that goes back to October 1st. Sunrise 6:43, sun sets this afternoon, almost evening now at 5:44. Taking a look at your hump day Wednesday temperatures, things will continue to moderate temperature-wise. 40 for Moses Lake tomorrow, upper 30s in Quincy and Ephrata, about the same in Wenatchee at 37 tomorrow. Ellensburg, a nice day at 39, and then mid-30s from Eniat up into Omak. Not bad for Lake Wenatchee. You crack the 20-degree or 30-degree mark, you'll see a high tomorrow of 32 degrees. We do have changes on Thursday, though, and we'll get to that in a second. Tonight, mostly clear skies. Still some high pressure and a little bit of a ridge over us. The area of low pressure has slid all the way down into the southwest. We did pick up about 2.5 inches of snow overnight. For Wednesday, partly cloudy skies to mostly cloudy. It will be dry, continued cool with high temperatures tomorrow in the mid to upper 30s. And then on Thursday, look out. Big westerly flow, windy all through north central and central Washington. We could see some isolated rain and snow showers. Most of that should be in the Cascades. The good news, it will be warmer with that wind on Thursday. Highs in the low 40s. For Friday, partly cloudy skies. The wind will die down. Probably will be our best day of the entire forecast. Highs on Friday, once again, into those lower 40s, and getting you into the upcoming weekend. Things unstable again as we get you into Saturday. Morning snow very likely on Saturday, maybe an inch of accumulation. That will kind of die down in the afternoon. We're going to see cooler temperatures to start the weekend on Saturday into the mid-30s. And then for Sunday, really not terrible. An area of low pressure will stay camped out over western Oregon. Big flow around that low, so we'll see some clouds. We'll stay with the warm temperatures, highs in the upper 30s for Sunday, and then as we end our forecast on Monday, we can expect mostly cloudy skies once again. Not much happening weather-wise Sunday and Monday. We'll see unseasonably cool temperatures continue with mainly highs here in north central Washington in the mid to upper 30s. Let's take a look now at your 7-day forecast brought to you by Apple Valley Honda. And tonight, 18. Yeah, we're getting back down in the teens once again, mainly because of the clear skies we expect tonight. Partly cloudy, dry, and 37 tomorrow. Not a bad Wednesday. Windy. We're talking lots of wind on Thursday, maybe an isolated rain mixed with snow shower. Friday, our best day. Partly cloudy skies and 41, giving way to some morning snow on Saturday. Quite a bit cooler too at 34, and then mostly cloudy and quiet weather for Sunday and Monday. High temperatures both days, generally in the upper 30s. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
I chose a career at Confluence Health because I wanted to help people, and I knew there would be opportunities for growth. I started as a medical assistant, but quickly advanced in my career. I received 5 promotions in only 7 years, 3 of those in management roles. Most organizations don't offer that type of growth. Now, as a career pathway coordinator, I let everyone know. Come join Confluence Health. Come grow with us.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Tuesday to you. February has not been so kind to the Seattle Kraken. The second-year NHL franchise has gone 3-7 in the year's shortest month and has fallen from first to fourth in the Pacific Division standings. After tonight's game in St. Louis, Seattle has just 22 games left of the season. Since it's the first time discussing the playoffs for the Kraken, let's take a look at how it works. The top 3 teams in each division are guaranteed a playoff spot. The next 2 teams are wildcard playoff teams. So if the season were to end today, Vegas, Los Angeles, and Edmonton would be the top 3 in the Pacific Division of the Western Conference, while Dallas, Colorado, and Minnesota would represent the Central Division. Winnipeg and Seattle would fill out the last 2 wildcard playoff spots. Kraken coach Dave Haxtell says it's extremely important for his players to understand the magnitude of the games they play down the stretch.
Obviously, there's more on the line. It's a little more serious, but at the end of the day, it's really what it's about. You're competing to win with your teammates, and these guys become family. As you grow up together throughout a year, you get to this point of the year, you want to be in the middle of this race, to be confident within that race, to be comfortable within the ups and downs of it, are pretty special things. And we feel that that's where our group is at, and we feel that's really important. You got to be comfortable with the battle that's ahead.
Now, even though Seattle has struggled this month, Haxtell says he's not considering changing the lineup at all. Basically, his philosophy is to go with the guys who got you here.
I don't know that there's a big shift. I mean, this group has, obviously there's been additions throughout the year, but for the most part, this group has been together, right? This is the group that started. This is the group that's gonna finish this race. So the mindset is something that we've talked about all year. The importance of the mindset becomes greater at this time of year because the results are harder to come by. If there's any shift at all, it's just in the communication of that amongst the group. That's not just from the coaching staff to the group. That's from us to them, but also in and amongst the group themselves. Just the selfless mentality that has to take place at this time of year to be able to have success.
Manny Benares has quickly emerged as a star in his second season in the NHL. He's second in scoring for Seattle with 19 goals this season. And Haxtell says he continues to improve, including on face-off wins.
Yeah, I've seen progression in all parts of his game, and that's going to be an area that he's got to continue growing in. Night in and night out, especially as you get to this time of year, that face-off dots gets more and more important. It gets more and more competitive. And that's an area, you see the pride come out in guys, you see the competitiveness come out, and, Maddie's growing in that area. And, there's, throughout the league, it's, a lot of times, there's a little bit of an advantage, given to the veteran player, to the star player, Maddie's just got to keep, working and grinding in that area and gaining his experience. And just continuing to grow in that piece of his game.
Seattle wraps up February on the road today in St. Louis. That game, in fact, going on right now on Root Sports Northwest. This is the first of a 4-game road trip that will also find the Kraken in Detroit, Columbus, and Colorado. Well, with Saturday's win over Merritt, the Wenatchee Wild secured a playoff spot in the BCHL's postseason. The top 8 teams from each conference of the BCHL qualify for the playoffs, with Wenatchee currently holding down 6th place in the Interior Conference. With only 7 games left of the regular season, Wenatchee would love to climb into the top 4 of the conference so they'd have home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs. The schedule favors a possible Wenatchee run as they'll play 5 of the remaining 7 games on home ice beginning this Saturday against Chilliwack. This is also Guns and Hoses night, where a team of police will take on a team of firefighters at 4 o'clock. The Wild and Chiefs will drop the puck at 6:05. We'll get a preview of the weekend with Gretchen Littler and Austin Drade tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Well, the Seattle Mariners stumbled against the White Sox in Cactus League Baseball yesterday. Chicago had 4 extra base hits, including a home run and a 10-1 drubbing of Seattle. The only highlight for the Mariners came early with Evan White at the plate.
High fly ball out to left. That's Benintendi racing back, and this one is gonna go off the back wall of the bullpen. It's Evan White with the first run of the game going to Mariners. A home run to deep left. White back and healthy for the first time in a couple of seasons. He is a spectacular defensive first baseman, but there he showed you pop.
White's home run was one of just 4 Seattle hits on the day. The Mariners were back in Peoria today against Cleveland. We'll have the results coming up tomorrow here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, as well as our sports in the evening hours. Now, big event coming up this weekend to the Wenatchee Valley. It's the first time since 2020 the Special Olympics Washington Winter State Games are happening right here, and you have a chance to help out. Volunteers are needed desperately for the opening ceremonies as well as the rest of the weekend. And if you haven't been to the opening ceremonies at the Town Toyota Center, I get a chance to be the MC for this event again. They have the parade of athletes that comes into the building. There's over 1,000 athletes. There's over 1,800 people involved between the volunteers, the chaperones, the helpers, the coaches, the players, the teams. It's a spectacular event. It's been sad that we haven't had it since 2020 here in the Wenatchee Valley. Starts Friday night with the opening ceremonies at 7 o'clock at the Town Toyota Center. They need help at the Town Toyota Center for this. They need greeters, they need ushers, they need people to help seat, they need stagers. Also, this weekend, they need help with the basketball scoreboards at the various gymnasiums throughout the valley, and they need help with skiers up in Mission Ridge to help people get to where they need to go as far as the downhill competition is concerned. You can call the Wenatchee Parks Department. Just look up their phone number, talk to Carol. Carol will help you out as far as getting the volunteer information, where you need to be and when, and it would be greatly appreciated if you could help out this weekend with the Special Olympics Winter Games right here back in the Wenatchee Valley. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. Great message. Help out Special Olympics. And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us. Have a great night.